You're listening to Biblically Speaking, the show where we let the Bible do all the talking.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Biblically Speaking. I am Aura.
And I am Belgie.
Welcome. Today we are looking at the topic of
whether or not as a man you should be out there searching for that wife, or whether or not we should be waiting. Which one is it? Are we meant to be hunting? Are we meant to be out there looking? Or is it a case of do what Adam did, which is just be sleeping and God to bring our spouse to us? Which one is better?
Well, it's interesting because we watched a message not that long ago where they asked men who were Christians and they asked one of the guys on the panel how he felt about a woman approaching him and coming to start a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And he responded that, I want, to feel like a man. I want to feel like I'm the one pursuing her, and, I'm, as not the opposite way round, that, men are hunters and, finders and warriors. I don't know. It made me sound like what a women flesh to be hunted down and captured and slung over the shoulders. I don't understand.
It's funny. That's exactly how we men, we kind of tend to speak with those sort of terminologies. In fact, we're told we're meant to be hunters. We're the one who's meant to pursue. We're the one who's meant to go out there and find. And, I've always had questions with regards to this, because when I read in the Bible, it says most of the great relationships, the ones that you see they were blessed by the Lord, it was always that God was the one that orchestrated it. There was no, this guy went on a journey to go and look for his wife. It's, if anything, they brought the wives to them. So, my dear, I didn't look for you. I didn't go out there hunting. It's like, I need a wife. Okay, I'm searching the whole earth trying to look for the wife. God just brought you into my path. So this is what we're trying to discuss today. Is the fact that, yes, it sounds great. Yes, But
where does that come from? Because the thing is this, it's also one of those things that we need to look at. Okay, is this another one of those things that we're just accepting as fact as Christians, as opposed to looking at actually what's the source? Because if you're a person who's pursuing, you're going to pursue based on what it is that you want. You're going to be pursuing based on what you find attractive and what your tick box of lists are. Whereas if you're waiting on God, there's a whole different level of submission that happens in that process. So the whole pursuit thing doesn't sound like, God's daughters are not meant to be hunted down like they're sheep or cattle.
Okay, let's not use that word hunting. Maybe let's Christianize it and say, okay, God's daughters are meant to be chased, and I don't know how we put it.
Chased where?
Well,
so that means that I'm running from you.
Well,
so where you chasing me to?
What pursue means, they're meant to be
chasing after you.
Approached. I guess that's what we're saying.
That's not what pursuit means.
Okay, so
where are you chasing me to? If you're the person who's gone, why am I running from you that you have to pursue me?
No, you're right. You're right. So, as a man, here's one thing I'm struggling with, and this is the thing that we're trying to get us to understand. You're now interested in a relationship. You're looking for your spouse. You're looking for the person who you believe God wants you to marry. What do you do? Do you, as the popular saying is, in the body of Christ, we're told men are meant to be pursuing, men are meant to be out there looking, and waiting doesn't necessarily mean sit down and do nothing.
So why not pursue God? Because I think what's happening is people are taking the verse. It's a very well-known verse, Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, when we say find, we attach to the word find the word. Then the thought must be that, okay, that means we must be out pursuing. We must be out looking.
And it's usually the man. So we say the woman is meant to be found, and the man is meant to be the one doing the finding. So do you see where it comes? As a man, I'm then told I'm the one who's meant to be out there looking, whilst the woman is just meant to be waiting to be found. So do you see where that comes from?
I understand the concept of it, but it's okay. So another person that I really loved his book was Joshua Harris. He wrote I Kissed Satan Goodbye, and he said when he was young, his mum used to tell him when he was in the kitchen not doing anything, just being idle, hustle while you wait. Meaning, don't just wait. be proactive in your waiting. Be, preparing yourself. When we look in the book of Esther, Esther spent a year in preparation to meet the king. So, we're not just saying wait there and do nothing. There's things that you need to be doing in preparation for whoever it is that God is going to bring into your life. So prepare yourself. Be prepared on what it means to be a husband. Start preparing yourself on what it means to be a wife. Whether that is going and sitting under elders, going to married couples' houses and learning from them, seeing how they work, look after their children, raise their household, and do things. Start preparing yourself in your mind, preparing yourself spiritually.
In fact, that's one of the things that really blessed me with my mentor, is the fact that I had the privilege to go and spend a weekend in their house and just to observe, to see what a godly man looks like in the household, how he treats his children and his wife. And to me, it was such a great blessing that the Lord gave to me before I got married. It's just to see, what does a husband do in their house? How does that look like? Is he meant to be... See, I grew up where the man was the king. You sit at home and the woman does all the cooking and does everything. But to see there was a great dynamic and balance in the household, that blessed me. So the preparation is very important in the sense to prepare your mind in what's to be a husband.
And also, when we're looking at the word find, if somebody gives you a map and on the map it says X marks the spot, and you go to the where X is on the map and you dig up and you find and there's treasure there, who found the treasure? You or the person who gave you the map?
Yeah.
So he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But if God's the one who's given you the map to find your wife, is it not you who's found her, but God's directed your path? If we're saying that God directs the steps of his people, he will direct your step to your wife. So when you find her, when you got that ta-da moment of, oh, here she is, this is her, it's not you who took yourself over there to find her. It wasn't you who decided to take your spear and go hunting, and capture her. That's not what happened. God directed your steps. He was the one who sent you there. The credit's given to you, but it really, the all glory goes to God. Again, it's Proverbs 19:14 says, houses and riches are an inheritance from parents, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Again, the onus of who gives a prudent wife, who gives a good wife, it is God who gives her. But you need to be in God in order to find her. And if you're not waiting on God, how are you going to be able to hear from him who she is, where she is, what she's doing?
So in a sense, I think let's bring it home. What we're saying is this: a man, in pursuing a woman or in finding or looking for a woman, the best place to be is in God.
Yes.
The finding needs to be going to God. Find your wife in God. In a sense, go to God to find your wife. Be in God. Pursue God enough that you will know his heart for who he wants you to be involved with. That's really what we're saying here.
Matthew, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Which is basically what we're saying. Seek God first. Seek God regarding everything concerning your life. Seek God concerning your wife. Seek God concerning your finances. Seek God concerning your health, your house. When you seek God and you're in his presence, we've already established that he will establish your steps. He will direct your path. These are promises of God. Psalm 37 verse 5, commit your ways to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. So when we are in God, when we submit our desires, when we submit our ways, when we submit our thinking onto God, he will direct our paths. He will direct them to the person he has been to us, just like a map. So when we look at the maps and X marks the spot, there's your spouse. So we don't have to go blindly seeking, blindly pursuing based on our own design, our own desires, our own ideals of who and what is right for us. God will direct us if we will just submit, if we will just commit it to him, if we will just wait on him, if we will just trust him with this most important, with this important part of our life. And he, will bring it to pass. He will bring our spouses, from whether it is from Congo or Nigeria or Cameroon and, UK, or, South Africa and Japan. I don't know where your spouse is, but God does. And it's about if we will just surrender it to him, if we will just commit it to him and let him have his way in it, he will order our steps.
Here's something that I think is very, very important in the fact that we need to understand only God can see the tomorrow that we cannot see. So for a man, I think it puts a lot of pressure when you're now told, why are you single? Sometimes we get that from parents. Why are you single? Are you not looking? You're meant to be out there looking. Sometimes you think, what on earth can I actually do to change this situation? There's nothing you can do. The Bible tells us, can you add a cubit to your stature? I mean, it's almost to say to us that certain things should be reserved for God and allow him to be the one that brings it to pass, rather than us put pressure on ourselves and try and be all stressed out and anxious and worried because we think we can orchestrate things. So as a guy, and I think it's very important for us to realize that as Adam did, all he needed to do is be busy with God.
Be about his father's business.
That's all he needed to do. There's, sometimes we put pressure on ourselves and begin to almost, by saying we need to pursue, sometimes it drags us then to feel like I need to raise up my character a little bit. I need to be fun. It's like you don't need to do all that. Your wife will be attracted to you based on the fact that God is the one who's going to direct her footstep and your footstep. So then you both will meet at the timing that he has set for that to happen. So the finding or the pursuing is really pursuing God, and then in him, letting him then direct you to meet your future spouse.
All we're saying is that if there's anything that needs to be pursued, it is God.
Yes.
And that in pursuing God, we are in pursuit of that which is for us. And all we need to do is wait on his timing and trust in his guidance, and trust that as we've committed the areas of our relationships, as we've committed the areas of singleness, and even committed the areas of our marriage, that he will direct our steps.
Yeah, and I think you said it very well. And I think also we need to understand, both male and female, we're all meant to be waiting. Neither is meant to be pursuing anyone else except, as you said, God. And so in the waiting is where then God takes control to prepare us for that wonderful encounter where we will meet our future spouse.
Everybody, we just want to thank you for joining us in this discussion. We hope you've been blessed. We look forward to hearing from you, from your contributions. And this is us just saying goodbye.
All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Stay blessed.